Imagine you're a small business owner and you've got hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars tied up in something that could be wiped out in the blink of an eye with little control over it. Well, that's what livestock owners face across the United States. And the threat is animal disease. Before it's ever meat on your dinner plate, that chicken, beef, turkey, or pork starts here. Across the Heartland, there are farmers raising livestock from Maine to California and everywhere in between. And just like us humans, animals are susceptible to illness and disease. Most can be treated if caught early enough by a veterinarian, but not always. And when that happens, animals end up at labs like this one near Orlando, Florida. This is the Bronson Animal Disease Diagnostic Lab. Today, the team is doing a necropsy on a chicken to find out what killed it. One of the many things that happen here, all with the goal of protecting animal agriculture and ultimately our food supply. Agriculture has a $100 billion impact on Florida each year. It's the state's second largest economic driver after tourism.
So it's a very big part of our mission to make sure that those animals are disease-free, they're wholesome. If they go into the food chain, the horses are healthy.
And there are certainly a lot of things out there that attack livestock, from chickens to horses to pigs, viruses, bacteria, you name it. Oh, not to mention parasites like this one. This is a parascaris worm. It goes after horses, and it is not good.
And some of these diseases could be devastating to the industry. So that's one of our missions in animal industry, is to protect the producers in Florida agriculture from these devastating type diseases.
So when a dead animal, big or small, is brought to the lab, the necropsy is critical. Not only will they examine the animal, but blood tests are run to check on diseases.
So determining the cause of death can be very important to rule in and out what the cause of death was. Was this intentionally caused? Was this an accidental thing, feed contamination? Or is it an infectious disease that may need some concentrated control efforts?
The lab is just part of the protection profile for Florida agriculture. You'll find state field inspectors and veterinarians on location at horse farms, livestock markets, and even tourist attractions.
You have to have both of those entities together, someone doing the investigations in the field and then the backup support.
Can you imagine what an animal disease outbreak would be like? It'd be pretty scary in a state like Florida, wouldn't it?
It can, yes, depending on what that outbreak is, yes. And it can be quite expensive to the state. They've estimated that if you had a 21-day lapse of time for a disease such as foot and mouth, that there could be up to $130 billion impact just from a short window of 3 weeks.
Our inspectors inspect cattle at 10 cattle markets every week. They go to over 45 state and county fairs annually. They inspect scores of small animal and equine sales. So we're constantly looking for animal disease.
Modern animal production methods can mean higher risk of diseases quickly impacting tens of thousands of animals on just one farm. Preventing disease from taking hold is a key piece of the puzzle when protecting animal agriculture. In Florida, that means testing on horses that get sold for racing. So what are we looking at here? I see a lot of vials. Looks like blood.
Yes, sir. This is blood samples from equines, from horses that are from around the state of Florida, sometimes from other states. This testing is for equine infectious anemia, which is a regulatory disease. You can see there's blood cells at the bottom. These have been centrifuged.
When you talk about regulatory diseases or horse diseases, how many horses around the state are getting tested for this?
Well, as an example for equine infectious anemia, the program that we have in Florida that's been very successful, we used to have many more positive horses. It's very, very rare to get one now.
Threats from overseas are top of mind for farmers and ranchers in Florida and across the U.S. Customs and Border Protection teams search incoming cargo for pests that may have hitched a ride to the U.S. And when there is an outbreak of a particularly infectious disease in a poultry barn, dairy farm, or anywhere in the livestock arena, this team must spring into action.
We have to have a rapid response to contain and quarantine the disease. If we are not able to do that, that disease will spread rapidly in the matter of days. Could be in one county on day one, and a week later it could be in multiple states.
A protection profile that stretches from the field to the lab with the goal of keeping our food supplies safe.